Alaska experienced major growth and change in the 1940s and 1950s, fueled largely by the territory's militarization during World War II and the onset of the Cold War. Territorial status left many of the new residents, like Vic Fischer, indignant. A diverse and growing number of Alaskans, from career politicians and bureaucrats to shopkeepers and missionaries in the bush, joined the statehood movement that culminated in 1959. 55 delegates from across the territory met in Fairbanks during a frigid winter in 1955. They wrote a state constitution from scratch and charted a course to turn Alaska into the 49th state. In this episode, 8 key figures from state history will describe how it all came together. In later episodes, they'll share personal stories and talk individually about how their lives intersected with history.
We had a number of congressional hearings on statehood. Committees would come up to Alaska aside from committee hearings in Washington. I remember Mildred Kirkpatrick testified at that particular hearing also, which was held in the Carpenters Hall, 4th Avenue in Denali. And she was the Republican National Committee woman. And she told about working, being enthusiastic about the Republican president being elected, Eisenhower becoming president, and how she received a formal invitation to the inauguration, and she was excited, and she got on a plane and flew down to Seattle to go to Washington, D.C. And in Seattle, she had to go through immigration, just as if she were coming from Japan or France. She had to go through immigration to prove that she was an American citizen. And she broke down with the ignominy of the situation, that my president was being inaugurated and I'm treated like a foreigner. I'm not an American citizen. And this was one of the big issues that we had. The territory had very limited authority. The governor of Alaska under the territorial government was appointed by the president. The highway department was run by the federal government. The court system was run by the federal government. The communication system, long-distance telephone system, was run by the Army. Essentially everything all around, management of resources, fish and game, lands, forests, everything was federal. Late 1954 became very clear that Congress again hadn't acted on an Alaska statehood bill, and that something more needed to be done. Some kind of a push was needed. And Wendell Kay and others suggested that, well, the time has come to go ahead and write a constitution for the future state of Alaska.